Is a TPLF Tigray People Liberation Front planning to buy modern combat drones? Is Tigray military on board? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Good to be with you. It seems that now very rapidly things are changing in the Horn of Africa. New alliances being built. EPLF is being publicly accused by Prosperity Party leaders, government officials, that it is making preparations for another war. TPLF denies, but developments on the ground indicate that TPLF is up to something. Just a little background, viewers. I covered Tigray war, 2 year long war. Each and every major incident of that war was covered on my views and news. Military, political, religious, humanitarian angles of the war, everything was covered on my views and news. I always say that there were two differences between TDF and ENDF. ENDF had two advantages. Had TDF no advantages, it had ENDF no advantages, it would have been easy for TDF to reach Addis Ababa. Which two advantages? Firstly, Eritrean support. Eritrean support helped in the first and third rounds of the war. In the second round of the war, Eritrea tried to teach a lesson to Abiy government, and it did not involve itself significantly in the war. But third, the most crucial phase of the war was lost from Eritrean territory. ENDF, EDF jointly collaborate. So first defense was EDF, Eritrean Defense Force, Eritrean military involvement. Second difference was the military hardware, especially drones. In the second round of the fighting, when Eritrea dished, Abiy, you can say, and Tigray fighters managed to enter a far region, Oromia Special Zone, Amhara, North Shore Amhara. They were dreaming of reaching Addis. They were saying there were no one to stop them to reach Addis. That Khan was saying there was no one to talk to. Getachew was saying there was no one to negotiate with because TPLF was on its way. Tigray fighters on their way to Addis Ababa. Then came drones. Modern combat drones. Iranian drones were tried, did not work. Abiy displayed Iranian drones in a far region, did not work. Abiy bought UAE's Winglongs, Chinese basically, provided by the UAE government to Abiy. They delivered average results. Then came Turkish drones, TB2s, which were deadly. Drones were used in the first round of the war too, but those drones were used mainly from a support which was being used by the UAE back then, and drone strikes were conducted. But the second round of fighting was deadly in terms of damage inflicted on Tigray fighters by drone strikes. Third round of fighting was deadly in terms of infantry movements. Anyway, so the two major differences were drones and EDF. TPLF, though it says it does not want any war. Emmanuel Essefa said 2 days ago in an interview that even if NABE rejects TPLF's status, if it cancels TPLF status, it won't lead to a war. There are other mechanisms which Tigray can use to solve the issues. But you cannot trust politicians. This is what they were saying before the war too, but war erupted. TPLF is trying to neutralize the advantages which ENDF had during the war. First advantage is Eritrean support for ENDF neutralized because TPLF has reconciled to some extent with Eritrean government. It's all over the news now. I think it's not a secret that TPLF PFD relations have considerably improved. Did you see any statement from Debretsion TPLF criticize Eritrea in recent days, weeks, months? No. So definitely alliance has been built. It's not just between TPLF and PFD, it's between Tigray military and EDF. First advantage held by ENDF neutralized. Second advantage is a matter of concern for Tigray Defense Force in case of another escalation, and that is drone power, air power. ENDF had air superiority during Tigray war, and that was hard to handle for TPLF, Tigray fighters. Tigray military, TPLF, they want to acquire drones. This is what we have learned through credible sources. It's difficult for them to acquire drones. Obviously, they cannot acquire drones to the Ethiopian government. They need to find sellers. They need to find the route. They need to find the funding. Tigray has shown interest in buying drones through Eritrea. Eritrea is gradually opening up its port to Tigray, Massawa port. It's not new, by the way. Around 2 to 3 months ago, we learned that Eritrea had agreed to give sea access to Tigray. Eritrea sees Abiy as a major threat now. It wants to dismantle Abiy's government, just like Abiy wants to topple Isaias Afwerki's government. It's not a secret. Both arming proxies against each other. TPLF weak now, perhaps, is less. It's not as strong a threat to Eritrea as ruling party, ruling government of Ethiopia is. That's what the Sasawe government believes. So around 3 to 4 months ago, reportedly Eritrea agreed that Tigray can use Eritrean ports. That Tigray won't be allowed to be. It won't be allowed to put Tigray under siege if there is a conflict between Tigray and federal government. Now everyone is confirming that. Question is, can Eritrea really buy drones from abroad? Eritrea can, Tigray, not Eritrea, sorry. Can TPLF really buy drones from abroad? TPLF cannot buy drones from Iran, neither from Turkey nor from UAE. But it can easily buy drones from other players. And TPLF is trying to buy modern combat drones, not the small one quadcopters. No. The quadcopters can be bought anywhere. It wants modern combat drones to counter the air superiority held by ENDF. Yes, TPLF, Tigray military, they can buy drones through Eritrea, through Egypt, through other players. Chinese drones can be bought, I think. Not directly from China, but through. Just like Abiy bought Chinese drones through the UAE during the war. TPLF can buy these drones through Egypt, through Eritrea. TPLF will have to build drone stations, airstrips in Tigray. Tigray military will have to ensure that the strips, the small airports are protected by Tigray military, not by END. If it happens, that would amount to declaration of war. But this is what Tigray military TPLF are working on. Will Eritrea support TPLF? Keeping in view that TPLF and EPLF have been allies, but they turned into rivals, and for 2 decades they fought each other. Just 2 years ago, they were bloodthirsty for each other. Will Eritrea support TPLF? Will Eritrea arm TPLF? I think Eritrea will arm TPLF to a certain level. It wouldn't like TPLF to be more powerful. It wouldn't like Tigray military to be more powerful than ENDF. It wouldn't like Tigray military to be more equipped than EDF. EDF is a full-fledged military. It has fighter jets, bombers, and it's in process of buying more air machines reportedly. If Tigray gets a few drones, it does not mean that it will be a threat to Asmara. So Eritrea might give the green light when it comes to delivery of drones to Tigray. So far, talks ongoing, groundwork being done. TPLF can easily find money, I think, no problem with that. Tigray and diaspora community, some very rich, they can easily raise a few million US dollars. If you have a few million US dollars, you can easily buy drones. You need to have your technicians trained, which can be done in Egypt, in Eritrea, and so on, etc. This is what TPLF is working on. Can we say TPLF and Tigray military are preparing to wage another war on Addis Ababa? Well, the preparations could be defensive too. There is basically deficit of trust between TPLF and federal government. TPLF insiders, TPLF leaders, they say that federal government won't let TPLF survive in Tigray. The federal government wants to crush TPLF and Tigray military too. So Tigray military, TPLF, they need to join hands to survive. For self-defense, they need to be ready. Another war could be unleashed on Tigray, on TPLF, on Tigray military. So they should be prepared. And one of the main points of preparation is building air power, which TPLF Tigray did not have during the war, and that cost Tigray side. Let's see. Eritrea Tigray alliance turning into a very strategic alliance. People are pro TPLF, people are dreaming of 1990s when EPLF, TPLF marched to Addis Ababa. Probably in coming videos, hopefully we'll get more information. I think the traffic from Massawa to Tigray should be monitored. TPLF has been using this sport for some time. Tigray side, Tigray businessmen, they've been using this sport for a few months. That's what I have learned. I think monitoring should be done. It's a violation of Ethiopian sovereignty, by the way. Territorial integrity, Tigray cannot use that. Use Eritrean ports without approval from federal government of Ethiopia. Where they agreed to protect Ethiopian sovereignty, territorial integrity, when he signed 8-point document with the federal government of Ethiopia. But on the ground developments indicate that Varade is hand in glove with the TPLF. TPLF drifting close to PFDJ for strategic military allies. Thank you for watching.